The second Saturday in October, the autumnal hues cascade across Evanston, Illinois. Folks, you're watching college football presented by Walmart. And it's homecoming here at Northwestern University. And it takes on a special meaning for today's coaches. It was once said, as truth be told, homecoming never gets old. Why come back? Homes are welcoming. Home is where the heart is. But sometimes home is where the heart is. Homecoming can be a place of familiarity. Yet, coming home can provide difficulty. Either familiarity or difficulty. Sometimes the road home provides quite the story to tell.
In my opinion, we look like one of the most undisciplined teams in the country, and it kills me.
I don't think anything in the past makes you think you can do anything in the future. I think you have to work at it.
We've been really close a bunch of times.
We don't have to worry about anything other than ourselves. If we just keep working and keep grinding, they'll get better.
The whole attitude of everybody around here, I feel like we finally turned the corner.
Kickoff just a few moments away, and when we come back, Molly tells us about some advice from one coach to another on building from the bottom up. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Evanston, Illinois. You're watching the Big Ten on ABC, and a spectacular view from up top. Ryan Field, Northwestern looking for its first win of the season. And Molly has more on the view on building from the bottom up. Molly?
Well, Mark, Pat Fitzgerald knows how challenging it is to take over a program, and he told us, if I'm Scott Frost, this is what I'm telling my players. I chose to be your coach. You didn't choose me, so give me 1% of your trust, and I will earn the other 99%. And I spoke with multiple Nebraska players this week. They all said the same thing. We trust Coach Frost. We now understand the culture he wants to instill, and we will do anything for him. And 3 different players even used the phrase, I would run through a brick wall for him. I covered Frost's undefeated UCF team last year. All of his players there said the same exact thing, Mark.
Yeah, well, it worked at UCF. He was 0-12 in 2015 and 13-0 last year. And we are underway. Nebraska will receive. Maurice Washington will take a knee. It'll come out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for the Cornhuskers. Mark Jones chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak. Molly downstairs. It's homecoming, and a homecoming for you too, right?
Back in the shop, my old stomping grounds, Jonesy.
Still got the keys to this city, folks. Hey, when we talk about the Nebraska Cornhuskers, sometimes it's just about winning. It's simple, right?
Got to find a way to get a win. 0-5. This program, this illustrious program, has never been 0-6 before. These players need it to feel some confidence, to get those bad feelings away. And for Northwestern, 2-3 this season, they have not won a game yet at home. And they told us all week, we must protect this house.
That has been the message all week for Coach Fitzgerald and his crew. 1st and 10. And flags on the first play of the ball game for the Cornhuskers offensively.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
That's Gerald Foster, the starting left guard. Nebraska coming off a loss last week at Wisconsin. There's a look at their head coach, Scott Frost. Former player at Nebraska. Has played for a lot of luminaries in the college football coaching fraternity. Here's Martinez firing on 1st down, complete to Cade Warner. Warner is brought down at the 25-yard line. Second down and 10. Big game in so many ways for the Cornhuskers. They run it here. This is the tailback, Zigbo, in the open field. All the way down to the 42-yard line. And a big run for Nebraska of 33 yards on their first rush.
Outstanding block outside by Brendan Hymas. You're going to see him pull around, get out in front, set that hard edge. And Ozigbo does the rest. Big physical running back. He gets to the perimeter and out in the open field for a big pickup.
Zigbo again between the tackles. Got about a yard on the play. This is a huge game for Nebraska, folks. No other way to say it. They have never started 0-6 in program history over 122 years of football in Lincoln, Nebraska. 129 seasons. So a dubious beginning so far at 0-5 for Scott Frost in his first year on the sidelines. Martinez, a little play fake, open, Spielman, got it, touchdown Huskers. That's how you start a game.
And J.D. Spielman has been electric the last couple of football games. Really does an outstanding job in the open space. He gets open in the middle of the field. Good read by Adrian Martinez. Finds his open target. Puts it out in front where he can run after the catch. J.D. Spielman so difficult to deal with once he gets the football in his hands. Dynamic playmaker for this Husker offense.
He was a freshman All-America last year. Martinez with a 6-touchdown pass of the season. And Nebraska off to a fantastic start here. In just a few plays, they march it into the end zone. And for Spielman, this is his 6th touchdown catch of the year, too.
Play action pass. See Spielman work right over the middle. As soon as he crosses Patty Fisher, the linebacker, see Adrian Martinez throw him open. Excellent pass. And as we mentioned, Spielman in the open field. Good luck getting that cat down. Man, is he explosive.
Yeah, he had a 75-yard touchdown reception last week in Wisconsin. And if you're Scott Frost, you couldn't have drawn up a better beginning for your team.
Big run, big throw. They needed to create some explosive plays. And this Northwestern defense so far this year really has not given a lot up over the top or big chunk plays in the run game. It's exactly what we talked yesterday with Troy Walters, Nebraska offensive coordinator, said we've got to get our quarterback going early. We've got to hit some explosive plays. Check both those boxes on the opening drive.
And then it becomes infectious. Winning habits, positive results, building momentum, all important for Nebraska moving forward. This will come out to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for Northwestern. A poor kickoff. And the Wildcats will get good starting field position.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule of the ball, place at 35-yard line. 1st down.
That's where Clayton Thorson will take over. Had a good week passing the ball last week, which was about their only option when you consider the state of their running game right now. He threw for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns last week in that win at East Lansing. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from the 35. Senior quarterback ready to fire. Plenty of time. Completes it at midfield. Flags all over the field. That was Flynn Nagel, his favorite target.
It's going to be either pass interference or a hold. Antonio Reed wrapped up Flynn Nagel, but still Nagel still able to make the catch.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. That penalty decline. Result of the play, 1st down.
That's going to go against Antonio Reed. Nonetheless, a 19-yard gain on the catch.
Good protection up front by the Northwestern offensive line. Plenty of time for Clayton Thorson to deliver that pass.
This one complete out of the backfield to Solomon Vault. Vault run out of bounds. A couple of passes already for Northwestern. Last week had a tough time running the football against a very staunch and stout Michigan State defense. 2nd and 11 on the loss of 1. This is Vault again. And Vault is going to be brought down right near the line of scrimmage. Akinmuladun, Freedom Akinmuladun making the tackle, the 6'4" senior.
Nice game. Nice job running by Dedrick Young. Getting outside. See Freedom inside. Look at Young run to the football. Quality job getting to the sidelines, forcing Vault back in to his defensive linemen that are running after in pursuit.
3rd and long. Thorson has a man. Incomplete. He underthrew his receiver, Riley Lees. Lamar Jackson actually tipped the ball, but it's incomplete. And fourth down coming up for Northwestern.
That's a throw that the senior quarterback, Clayton Thorson, has to make. He's got plenty of time, good protection up front, and he's got an open target down the field, and the ball is underthrown. Nice job by Lamar Jackson to get a hand on it, but that should have been a touchdown. Fantastic protection. He steps into the throw, and the ball just underthrown.
Coleman's punting to Spielman. And it'll come out 1st and 10 on the 46-yard punt. It's fall, second Saturday in October, and from one frost to another type of frost. Dusty, pass me some gloves quickly, please. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Evanston, Illinois. Here's a look at Wendy's Fresh Look, giving fans more on the hottest topics of the day. 4 Power 5 sophomore team captains this season: Fisher, Pass, Jackson, and Borland. At Northwestern, Louisville, Virginia Tech, and Ohio State on 1st and 10. Washington gets the carrier for the Cornhuskers, and Molly has more on Fisher's leadership.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. Patty Fisher just went up to every defensive group separately, telling them to calm down, not get into their heads. They need to focus on their fundamentals.
Well, they're off to a little bit of a shaky start, and they get shredded here on the completion over the middle to Jack Stoll.
Savvy play by Adrian Martinez. Play action pass, and he fakes as if he's going to be a quarterback draw. Gives the head fake. Linebackers come up. Tight end Jack Stoll wide open over the middle of the field.
And Martinez is a very dangerous runner. He hands it off this time. That was Washington. They're going pretty quickly here, Dusty.
Martinez is a legit dual threat playmaking quarterback. Fantastic runner with the football, extremely athletic, and we've already seen his ability to throw the football. Scott Frost told us yesterday, at this point, where he's at in his career, as good as anybody he's had, and that includes the Heisman Trophy winner, Marcus Mariota.
Out of the backfield, complete to Maurice Washington, a very talented freshman, steps out of bounds about 2 yards short of the first down. 3rd and 2 coming up for Martinez in that Husker offense.
Washington's role is going to continue to grow. Last week against Wisconsin, he's getting more and more snaps, lining him up outside as a receiver. We saw him there catch the football in the backfield. Very talented young freshman who's only going to continue to get more and more touches as this season progresses.
3rd and 2. Little decide option, and Martinez gets the first down. Last week had 441 total yards of offense, albeit in that loss against Wisconsin. A young man that had originally committed to Tennessee and then decommitted. Ended up deciding to go to Nebraska in the wake of Scott Frost taking the job there. And off to Zigbo. Check that. That was Washington again. Picks up 3 on the play. But Martinez very much the catalyst, and just 18 years old. Washington asking him to come out. Looks like he's a little discomfort there with his hand.
Mark, you mentioned Martinez's age. His teammate Stanley Morgan Jr. didn't even know that he was only 18 years old. He found that out last week. He said his composure, his maturity is beyond his years.
Certainly shown that so far early in the season. Showing a little bit of poise here, slides in, and got hit hard at the 36 by Patty Fisher. And they might be taking a look at this one. A 5-yard gain on the play. Look at this hit.
As he goes into the slide.
Hit with the shoulder.
I think he's going to be okay. But that right there, as you saw, that rush lane open up just a little bit. Martinez saw it, and he took advantage for a nice pickup.
Zigbo on the carry. And he's going to get enough for the first down. Zigbo will move the chains for Nebraska. Coming up next on ABC and ESPN2, a Pac-12 showdown in Eugene. Number 7 Washington against 17 Oregon at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then at 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. A huge Big Ten tilt in the Big House. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Ann Arbor. Both games live on the ESPN app. You can watch the game anywhere. Martinez into the boundary on the toss, and well read and played by that Northwestern defense. Gallagher making the tackle and a loss of 2.
Nice play initially by Gaziano, the defensive end. He takes the quarterback, forces Martinez to pitch it into boundary, and Gallagher, aggressive, runs extremely well, tracks it down for a tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
You like this Northwestern defense. They're kind of solid, steady, don't give up a lot of big plays.
Fundamentally and structurally sound. They play with great technique and great effort down in and down out.
Martinez hands it off again as Zigbo down to the 28-yard line. There was a missed tackle by Patty Fisher, a 6-yard gain for Nebraska.
A little jump cut for a Zigbo. He's typically a guy who's going to run you over, not make you miss.
Troy Walters had a great quote. We'll tell you about it after this.
Just a little jump. Whoop. Hops right out of the way. Outstanding job.
Coach says he'll always get you 5. If you want 2, he'll get you 5. If you want 5, he'll get you 5. If you want 15, he'll get you 5. That's steady. 3rd and 6. Martinez going up top. Incomplete. Intended for Stanley Morgan Jr. working against Montre Hardage, their best cover corner. That's a nice matchup there on the perimeter, partner.
Going to be a great matchup to watch all day. Good on good. Montre Hardage can flat out lock people down as they did last week against Michigan State. And Stanley Morgan, big physical wide receiver that they love to get the football to. Tight coverage down the sideline. But I like Martinez taking his shot down the field and seeing if his senior wide receiver can make a play.
Barrett Pickering from 45 yards out. This would be a career long, should he make it. And he rings it off that right upright, no good. Had plenty of distance on it. So Pat Fitzgerald's defense gets a win on that sequence. Timeout on the field. When we come back, a closer look at some of the great facilities here at Northwestern University. Hey, we told you about building. You'll see evidence of it on the other side. Ryan Fieldhouse opened in April, 96,000 square feet for 506 varsity athletes on campus. The facility is right on Lake Michigan. You saw it. They got 2 beaches here on campus here, folks. Price tag a little over $270 million. Wonderful contributions from the Ryan family, the Walters family. Walt runs it on 1st down and 10, and that facility is as good as you're going to see across the country, doesn't it?
When we go around college, different college atmospheres, we see all kinds of beautiful facilities. I've never seen anything quite like that. It was futuristic, very modern, and it being right there on the lake, I mean, it really sets it apart from anything that I've seen on a college campus. Incredible what they've done here at Northwestern.
Green on the reception. Nice gain brought down by Reed. They have brought football back to campus. For the entire time, it hasn't been that way for Pat Fitzgerald.
And you guys, my favorite thing that Pat Fitzgerald said is adjacencies and efficiencies. Everything is more efficient in this building. He said it saves them nearly half an hour off of their day.
That really helps. 3rd down and 2, and they're going to be stopped short on the reception. Great tackle. Antonio Reed stopped up Bennett Skowarnik. And it's 4th down coming up for Northwestern. Boy, this Nebraska defense, much maligned, Dustley, coming up with a couple of early impressive plays.
Look at this open field tackle. Picture perfect, wrap up, get the guy on the ground in front of the sticks, and get your defense off the field. Back-to-back 3 and outs to start this game. Exactly what Eric Shenander needed from his defense.
Collins punting. Spielman with a fair catch at the 22-yard line. 1st down and 10 from there for Nebraska. Off to a good start here in the 1st quarter. Coming into the game at 0-5. They've never been 0-6 in program history. But back to the Fitz-Carlton, as they call it here in Evanston, folks.
Or the Fitz-Mahal.
Yes.
Back here in Evanston, Nebraska is up and Scott Frost is fired up here, but disappointing for him, his versatile back, Maurice Washington, is in visible pain. His medical training staff are looking at his left hand. He had a hard time closing it into a fist. A couple players checked on him and said, "We need you," and he just shook his head, guys.
Well, he's a big part of what they do offensively. That pass complete to Stanley Morgan Jr. Hardage making the tackle on the play. He was off to a good start, Washington was.
Versatility is the key, right? Because he can play receiver, he can play running back, makes guys miss, kind of gives you a different element than what you get with a Zigbo, and they wanted his role to continue to grow. So if he can't come back, that changes a little bit of what Nebraska wants to be able to do.
Martinez complete out of the backfield. That Spielman made a great move to make a tackle miss and ends up about 3 yards short of the first down. Take one more look at where Washington was shaken up. It was right after that play. Came off the field holding his hand. 3rd and 3 for the Cornhuskers.
Northwestern barely able to get the proper personnel in the field as Nebraska changed personnel, as did the Northwestern defense.
Martinez completes it out of the backfield. Great open field tackle by Hardage. He chopped down Ozigbo. A gain of 1, but it's 4th down and a couple coming up, and Ozigbo getting up slowly.
Excellent job. Zone coverage for the Northwestern Wildcats. And Montre Hardage, the senior, coming off his best game of the year last week against Michigan State, comes up. Excellent open field tackle to get his defense once again off the field. We're seeing good tackling in open space here early on, Jonesy.
And after the punt by Armstrong, Lee's back there, watches it bounce, and it dribbles all the way out of bounds to the 30-yard line. Let's go back to the studio. I know Cassidy Hubbard got her diploma from this school up here called Northwestern, right, Cass?
Sure did, Jonesy. I'm proud of it. Here with your DirecTV, more for your college football thing. Iowa, Indiana, Nate Stanley to T.J. Hockenson, 9 yards. Hawkeyes up 7-3. This game you can see on ESPN2. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Iowa, of course, a big game next week at home against Maryland. And we'll be there to call it for you. Joe Moten in the backfield now. 1st and 10 for Northwestern. Still trying to get some semblance of offense. Thorson to the sideline. They're going to rule it complete to Jefferson. Here's a look at the standings up to date in the Big Ten.
As we mentioned, Northwestern 2-3, but they're 2-1 in conference play, so still very much in the race. Iowa very much in the race in that western side. On the other side, boy, it's tough sledding in the East. Ohio State, Michigan playing great football, and Penn State.
Thorson on the quick slant, complete. That's his favorite target, number 2, Flynn Nagel. Check that. As Pullman, an 11-yard gain on the play.
Excellent read by Clayton Thorson. RPO. He fires a strike to a slot receiver for a nice first down.
Boy, no pressure on Thorson at all. Completes it to Moten. About a 2-yard gain on the play.
They want the 3-man rush. They're going to drop 8 into coverage. They want to dedicate way more bodies on the back end of their defense, so there was no pass rush. Clayton Thorson all day to survey the field. Excellent coverage in the back end. He's got to dump him down to his check down for a very minimal gain.
Green in motion. And Green makes the reception. A little gain on the play. Good pressure that time by Boodle. It was in Thorson's face a little bit. 1-yard pickup on the play.
Clayton Thorson still working his way back. He tore his ACL at the end of last season. Did an excellent job rehabbing, getting himself back even ahead of schedule. But I still think from a mobility standpoint, athletic standpoint, he's still somewhat limited. See if Nebraska tries to dial up a pressure and move him off a spot.
It's a 3rd and 7. Fitzgerald says if Thorson plays well, the team will follow. Pass complete. And that's going to be good for a first down to Flynn Nagel. Mr. Dependable for Thorson. He was working on Aaron Williams and picked up 8 yards for the first down.
Yeah, Flint Nagel's his go-to guy. When they need a play, look for number 2 to get the football. Outstanding job working back to the ball, slightly thrown inside, no problem for the sure-handed receiver, Flint Nagel.
First time on the day that Northwestern has gotten on Nebraska's side of midfield. They fake the jet sweep and go straight ahead between the tackles. And a nice gain by Moten. Picked up about 8 on the play.
Changing personnel groupings for Northwestern. They've been spreading out Nebraska quite a bit. Now 2 tight ends in the game, and they go more of a power football between the tackles. Not had a ton of success running the football, especially since the loss of their stud Jeremy Larkin a few weeks ago.
That was a huge blow. Nice cutback move there by Moten, and he picks up the first down. Let's go back to Larkin. Jeremy Larkin had to retire because of a neck injury. Spinal stenosis, which technically is a narrowing of the spinal column, and it was interesting how quickly that happened. He was complaining of stingers in both shoulders, saw the team doctors, and they quickly diagnosed it, thankfully for him.
Now it's Coach Larkin.
Yes.
Picked up the whistle and took off the pads.
30 seconds to go. Moten again. Well, this was the headline. Retiring from football effective immediately due to a recent diagnosis of cervical stenosis. Not a life-threatening condition, but prevents him from participating in football.
You know what I thought was so impressive when we talked to starting right guard Tommy Doles. He said, you know what made it easy to deal with is that Larkin came to them and he said, guys,
this is the end of the first quarter.
He said, guys, I'm going to be just fine. You know, this is just football. I've got a lot better things in life to look forward to, and that helped the entire team be at ease with the loss of their star running back.
That's the end of the first. More from Evanston after these message and a word from our ABC stations. Well, as we honor those who serve, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Yeah, that was the scene prior to the game. Pre-game, John Hart parachuted into Ryan Field before the game, delivering the game ball. He's a retired U.S. Army Special Forces Master Sergeant of 22 years from Cincinnati with over 19,000 skydives. What a great scene prior to the game. 9th play of the drive here for Northwestern on the 31. The handoff to Moten and nowhere to go. Brought down nicely. Tried to get to the edge, but couldn't get there. Luke Gifford, one of the guys to arrive first for the Cornhuskers.
Mo Berry, one of the true leaders of this defense. Watch him as he runs and as he gets outside and he tracks the football. Gets over the top of the block. Actually hurdles over the offensive lineman to make the play behind the line of scrimmage. Plays with outstanding effort and energy. Really loves the game of football, and it shows on the tape.
Loss of 3 on the play, 3rd and long. Key down here for the Wildcats. Forcing, they set up the screen and diagnosed very well by the Cornhuskers. Nowhere to go, and that really took them out of field goal range on that loss. Colin Miller there to make the tackle. They lost 7 yards on the play.
3rd and long. Thought maybe they'd catch Nebraska, bring in extra pressure, so they dialed up the screen. No pressure came. Outstanding job reading the screen and making the play. Once again, Nebraska forcing a Northwestern punt.
Just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Jake Collins punting again. Spielman watches it go over his head at the 10-yard line. And Martinez 98 yards away. Pardon me, 92 yards away. Start up on the 8-yard line. A poised and prodigious freshman ready to take the reins of the offense for Nebraska when we come back.
Who knows their alma mater other than go you Northwestern, fight for, well, what, that's it.
Go you Northwestern, break right through that line.
With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the time. You rah, rah.
Go you Northwestern, fight for victory.
Spread far the fame of our fair name. Go Northwestern, win that game. Do, 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 do. Go Northwestern, go.
Well, they could use a pep talk and a little singing of the alma mater. Because right now, Northwestern trailing 7-0, pass incomplete. Good pressure up front by Ernest Brown. Randy Scott was nice. Randy won that. Him and Darren?
I don't know. Darren revealed the intensity on his face, man. He was locked in. He wasn't messing around. Nice work.
Martinez hands it off. That's a Zigbo with a nice gain. Picks up the first down. Cassidy, I thought you were wonderful. You did it with a lot of spirit. Back to you in the studio.
You gave it to Randy, though. But let me get to this cut-in first. Let's take a look at a performance above, brought to you by Jersey Mike's. Number 3, Ohio State trailing Minnesota until Dwayne Haskins finds Terry McLaren, who wrestles the way for the 41-yard touchdown, Jonesy.
Cass. Pass complete this time to Cade Warner. Pass was kind of tipped a little bit by Jordan Thompson. Nonetheless, complete. About a 5-yard gain on the play. Second down coming up for Nebraska. Cornhuskers, if you just joined us, scored on their opening drive of the ball game. Haven't scored since.
Been impressed so far, though, Zigbo, not just between the tackles, but showing a little bit of making guys miss and some speed in the open field. Nice start to this game for the senior running back.
Martinez keeps it. A huge hole there and picks up the first down to the 40-yard line. Adrian Martinez showing you why he was one of the top 10 dual-threat quarterbacks in the country last year. Gains 13.
When you get that running game going with your running back, it's going to freeze up the defensive end. Watch him go with the running back, and an outstanding read by Adrian Martinez. The defensive end has to go with the running back, and Adrian Martinez with a big pickup around the edge.
He fumbled the snap. Stays poised on the post. And overshot his receiver, Stanley Morgan Jr. Morgan Jr. had a stride on him, though. Martinez, one of his few miscues. You know, when you talk about a true freshman starting at quarterback at a program like Nebraska, the list is very short. He is amongst a very talented group, a small group of guys that have started as a true freshman. Look at the great history of this program. Scott Frost played for several great coaches. Tom Osborne among them. Martinez going to keep it this time. Tiptoes around the edge. Could be a hold pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line. There's a flag down on the play. Let's see what this call is. Flag down at the 39-yard line.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
That's going to go against Gerald Foster. Time now for our Aflac trivia question of the day. Aflac! Adrian Martinez is the third true freshman to start a quarterback for Nebraska. Who are the other two? Now the one.
I think I know one.
I nailed that one.
I think I know one.
I hit that buzzer quickly. Second one is a little bit more difficult. Boy, little jet sweep action. J.D. Spielman. They had a jet sweep player going in each direction, Dusty. Gallagher made the tackle on the play.
I like the creativity and the misdirection, finding a way to get J.D. Spielman the ball in open space. Got to give a lot of credit to Northwestern for not taking the bait, staying true to themselves, and keeping it contained outside.
Martinez on the play fake. Plenty of time again. Underneath to a Zigbo, and he's brought down to the 40-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play, and another flag way downfield at the 32-yard line.
Yes, in the neighborhood of defensive holding.
Scott Frost, when you sit down and meet with him and speak with him, he's very understated.
There's no foul for an illegal substitution on the defense. The man got off the field. Fourth down.
So fourth down coming up. Well, he's understated when we speak with him, but not there, Dusty.
Well, you're not going to find a more competitive guy anywhere in college football than Scott Frost. Telling us yesterday that he was a kid. I think he was 7 years old. He showed us the scar on his hand after he lost a Monopoly with his family. He punched a chandelier over the table.
Fair catch called by Riley Lees. back at the 19-yard line. A 41-yard punt, nothing on the return. Scott Frost likes to win, folks, and when he doesn't, you better back up. Back after this. Side eye on that, huh?
We have to own what we are. If you're not willing to look at who you are, then you're not going to fix who you are. Right now, we're on hard times. We're going to look back on these times someday with a little bit of a smile. You need to rejoice in your suffering sometimes because it develops perseverance.
Well, Scott Frost has been very outspoken about his team's lack of execution and discipline at times early in the season, but slowly those who are not buying into his philosophy have left, and the guys that he's with now are ready to ride.
20 players since he took the job in December. Non-seniors have left the program.
Thorson to pass, taking a shot up top, one-on-one, and incomplete at the 41-yard line. That soundbite, meanwhile, a moment ago from Tom Rinaldi's wonderful piece with Scott Frost.
Excellent piece on game day today.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 24. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I think the biggest point for me, though, like, I don't know if it's a negative necessarily that 20 guys have less, right? I mean, sometimes it's addition by subtraction. And when somebody comes in and wants to instill a new culture, you either buy in or you get out.
Thorson hands it off, and that's balled out to the 32-yard line. Folks, remember now, you talk about huge turnarounds. Scott Frost took an 0-12 UCF program in 2015, and then they were 13-0 2 years later in 2017. That's nothing short of miraculous in college football. That pass complete to Flynn Nagel, who has the first down at the 48-yard line. I mean, Dusty, put that into perspective for me. That's not easy at the Division I FBS level, right?
That's not easy in high school, man. To go from winless to undefeated, and watching that season last year as we got a chance to call one of the most memorable games against South Florida. The buy-in from those players, the relationships between players and coaches was oh so real.
Thorson lobs it up down the sidelines. That's going to be incomplete at the 25. Skowronek was working against Lamar Jackson. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
That last first down pass to Nagel, that's the NFL type arm people talk about, from the far hash all the way to the numbers. Big time throw to move the chains for the Northwestern offense.
Clayton Thorson, the senior quarterback, coming off a serious injury last year. Moten in the backfield. Thorson completes it at the 34. That's going to be enough for a first down to Jefferson. Nice looking throw.
Going to roll the pocket, get Tommy Doles out in front, the guard, pull him over. Boo squares his shoulders, fires a strike to the sidelines. Excellent throw by Clayton Thorson.
17-yard completion, 1st and 10. They go empty. Complete over the middle down to the 25-yard line. That's Moten again working against Luke Gifford. And a gain of 9.
Offensive line doing a nice job keeping Clayton Thorson clean. Look at Mohamed Berry coming inside. He's going to come in on a blitz. They clean him up. Nice pocket for Clayton Thorson to deliver the pass over the middle.
2nd down and 2. Moten picks up the first down. Back to Thorson. You know, his father, Chad, played linebacker for the New York Giants at Wheaton College collegiately, where his 2 brothers also played. Now, his neighbor, Kent Graham, played, of course, at Notre Dame and Ohio State and in the NFL for 10 years. So he always had a great role model growing up. Graham would watch film with him a lot of times, watch different NFL quarterbacks, schooling him as early as the 7th grade. Thorson almost intercepted that time at the 7 against Cam Taylor. Well, folks, this week on Sunday NFL Countdown, we're taking you inside the Patriots locker room with a story behind the oh yeah mantra that has capped off every New England victory for more than a decade. Did I do that right, Dusty?
Yeah, you did it right.
And plus, all access in the City of Angels with Jared Goff, who has led the Rams to a 5-0 start. Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Sean McVay in that offense is pretty impressive out in L.A. Patriots-Chiefs game. It's going to be a good one Sunday night.
On the handoff, this is Vault. And Vault picks up 2 yards down to the 20-yard line. This is a little bit of a different start for Northwestern. They've had faster starts in some of their previous games and then tended, unfortunately for Coach Fitzgerald, to falter in the second half of some games. Had some third quarter and fourth quarter issues.
Trying to strike a balance here in the first half, running the football, throwing it. Big 3rd and 8 here for this offense. Watch for Nagel in the slot down low.
Those fans you hear making noise are Nebraska fans. That'll keep them quiet. Touchdown, Nagel. Big Red Nation has nothing to say after that touchdown catch by Flynn Nagel.
He was lost in coverage. The Nebraska defense can't lose Flynn Nagel on a 3rd and 8. You know that's where Clayton Thorson wants to go to first. He's wide open. Nice passing catch for the touchdown.
The extra point good. And on homecoming, we're tied at 7 apiece with 7:41 to go in the first half. Man, I'll take 2 scoops. You know, according to some, the ice cream sundae was named in Evanston, Illinois at Garwood's drugstore. In the late 1800s, Evanston passed a law banning sodas on Sundays. To absolve the sin of sipping an ice cream soda on Sunday, the ice cream and syrup were served without the soda. The name was changed to Sunday because Sunday soda was considered sacrilegious. And on his feet still, Washington back after that hand injury with a nice return. Let's take a look at our Voya playbook.
Well, Nebraska's going to bring pressure off the edge, which means what? Man-to-man coverage outside. Look at Aaron Williams working on the slot. Flynn Nagel, man-to-man coverage. He fakes inside, gets outside, no safety help. Wide open, easy touchdown pass for Northwestern.
Northwestern evening the score at 7. Nagel's an interesting story when you look at all his siblings, 6 of them in all in his family, all played collegiate sports at the NCAA 1 level. That's Maurice Washington stopped up right near the line of scrimmage, little or no gain on the play. Look at Washington there. Washington, a talented tailback. Talked about him being highly touted. Washington, Ohio State, LSU, USC all offered him scholarships. Signed it on Nebraska. Just good news for Scott Frost. Here's Spielman. And Spielman picked up about 4 on the play. Let's get back to today's Aflac trivia question. Adrian Martinez, the 3rd true freshman to start a quarterback in school history. We got 1. Tommy Frazier.
Tommy Frazier's the dude. Go down.
Cody Green is the other. In 2009, Martinez fires high and midfield incomplete to Cade Warner. Tommy Frazier, of course, great quarterback for Nebraska out of Bradenton, Florida. He was a maestro at running that option.
He was a dude, Jonesy. Yep, he was that dude. That was back in their prime. 94, 95, and then again in 97.
Yep.
Scott Frost led Nebraska Cornhuskers 3 out of 4 years national champions, and head coach there trying to restore Nebraska back to that type of national prominence.
He's done a nice job of going back to the past and restoring some of their great history. The punt out the back of the end zone. 57 yards in all. Scott Frost talks about connecting the past to the present and getting Nebraska back to where he feels they belong. On the shores of the city of big shoulders, Chicago in the backdrop. We're up the street in Evanston. Back after this. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 20. The pass complete to Flynn Nagel, who got a touchdown a moment ago to even the score. He picks up 8. This was the scene pregame for the 2 coaches on opposite sides of the field today, both though coaching at their alma maters. With that, there are some special challenges. Some good, some not so good on the toss to Vault. He's going to be stopped up right near the line of scrimmage by Khalil Davis, Dusty. Look good coming down the line there.
Oh, outstanding hustle by the big defensive lineman. Running to the sidelines and making the play before Vault can turn it upfield. Love to see that kind of effort down the line of scrimmage by the big boys.
3rd down and 2. Line up and play a little smash ball and get just enough by Vault for the 1st down. Berry and Gifford making the tackle on the play. This is homecoming. Coach Fitzgerald telling us yesterday he had just finished speaking with some 250 grads. Had a bunch of old friends in town as well. The 2008 Alamo Bowl team being honored this afternoon as well. Homecoming weekend, the Wildcats looking for their first home win of the season. Thorson fires complete again. Gain of about 9 to McGowan. Let's go back to Cassidy in the studio.
Thanks, Jonesy. Now for the All-State Mayhem moment. Number 14, Florida, possible hangover game against Vanderbilt. Kyle Shermer to Keyshawn Vaughn. 75-yard score puts the Commodores up 14-3. This game over on ESPN. Jonesy, Dusty, Molly, back to you.
All right, Luke Gifford came in like a missile on Solomon Vault, and a loss of 2 on the play. Wow, what a play, Dusty.
Boy, Gifford, you know, he got a lot of praise from the coaching staff. Coming off the edge, he's unblocked. Big-time hit on Solomon Vault behind the line of scrimmage. Negative plays what this Nebraska defense needs. Setting up 3rd and really long for Clayton Thorson in this offense. They're going to spread the field.
Gifford looked a little bit like young Trev Alberts on that play. 3rd and 3. And nobody home. Little malfunction at the junction there between Skowronek and his quarterback, Thorson. They were definitely not on the same page.
No, they weren't. Looked like Clayton Thorson thought he was going to run an out. He runs a slant. And, boy, bad communication from quarterback to wide receiver on 3rd down.
Spielman back at his own 28. J.D. Spielman, of course, the son of Rick Spielman, former GM of the Minnesota Vikings. Chris Spielman, his uncle. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. Beautiful day here on the shores of Lake Michigan. You know, Dusty, the players were telling us, Patty was telling us that they use that as an ice bath. You know,
the polar plunge, my man.
And nowhere to go for Martinez. He did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, this Northwestern defense has really settled in from that opening drive. Opening drive, Nebraska goes 75 yards in 4 plays. They had chunk plays of 33 and 42. Since then, just 111 yards on 25 plays. Again, really settled in. Played some quality defense for the majority of this first half.
Play clock at 10. Martinez into traffic and incomplete. Double coverage there on J.D. Spielman. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Martinez. Scott Frost said that during bowl prep last year when he was still with UCF, he flew to Nebraska when he got wind of the fact that Martinez had decommitted from Tennessee, flew from Nebraska to Fresno to meet with the quarterback and his parents, came back in time for the next bowl practice, and he had in the process gotten a commitment from Martinez. That was a trip well worthwhile for the head coach. He's got Martinez there for years to come. And he fumbles it, got drilled from behind. It's loose. Scooped up and scored. Brown with the hit. Williams with the big hit, and Brown collected the ball.
Well, Hank Woods, the defensive coordinator.
Williams on the field as a fumble recovered by the defense for a touchdown.
Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator for Northwestern, he's going to dial up a blitz. He's going to bring Trey Williams. You'll see the corner walked up the line of scrimmage. He's going to come inside. Nebraska doesn't pick it up. And a big hit on Taylor Martinez as he still has the football. That is a fumble, and the scoop and score by Ernest Brown. Dialing up the pressure, and gets home, and a huge game-changing play for Northwestern.
Mike Hankwitz has been around football for a long time. Several different schools. They're going to kick the extra point. The touchdown will stand on the scoop and score. Hank pointing out the fact that his defense has only given up more than 21 points once this year.
I really don't put that on. Oh, yeah, that ball's out.
That's a fumble.
It goes backwards, no doubt. Big time hit by Trey Williams. You know, when you get a clean shot like that, you don't just want to get the sack. You want to get the ball out. Create a takeaway, create a turnover, and then obviously just a cherry on top when you can scoop it and take it to the end zone.
There were a whole bunch of Northwestern players around that ball. A little convoy into the end zone.
Not as easy as you think either to scoop that thing so gracefully as Ernest Brown did. I can tell you, big guys, we kick it, we bobble it.
Like fielding a grounder, huh?
Graceful job scooping that thing and taking it to the end zone.
3:01 to go in the first half. Northwestern with a 7-point lead. This is Maurice Washington. Got around the corner. But ran out of real estate, out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And now we see how Adrian Martinez rebounds from that adversary.
You know, turnovers have really plagued this football team all season long. Turning over too much and not taking it away enough. You know, turnover margin, obviously the #1 stat in all of football. You win that, you're going to have a good opportunity to win games. Costly turnover by the young quarterback here early in this football game.
Facing a little adversity, Ozigbo on the handoff. Broken tackle makes it out to the 22-yard line. Miller making the tackle on the play.
I think Troy Walters told us, though, is that, even whenever adversity hits, Adrian Martinez is good as anybody about being cool, calm, collected, showing excellent poise.
There he is. Fires complete, but that's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Mike Williams making the catch on the play, a pickup of 4. Coming up, the State Farm halftime report. Cassidy Hubbard in the studio. Check that. Kevin Gandhi in the studio. Jonathan Vilma and the coach. Martinez keeps it and just got enough, it looks like, for the first down, depending on the spot. Martinez keeping the drive alive with a little under 2 minutes to go. Yeah, Cassidy not doing the halftime show. Cassidy was magna cum laude, I think.
Is that right?
Northwestern.
I think you're just trying to get some brownie points at this point.
Well,
come on, Jonesy.
She was upset that I wasn't happy with her singing of the alma mater
earlier.
Martinez with the sidestep move. Finds his receiver Williams in a nice play. Wonderful resourcefulness. Takes Nebraska into Northwestern territory.
Sometimes you got to be a playmaker. Gallagher comes clean off the edge. He loses contain, comes inside. That's Adrian Martinez just being a playmaker. Buy some time. Lets his receiver get up the field and make something out of nothing. Excellent job by the freshman quarterback.
Still plenty of time. Martinez gets rid of it quickly again to Williams. Williams picks up another Nebraska first down. And They're on the fringes of field goal range now for Barrett Pickering, their place kicker. 13-yard gain on the play. Been a quiet afternoon so far for Stanley Morgan Jr., one of their leading receivers. Spielman has their only touchdown. There's Morgan up top. They run it into the boundary, though, with Spielman. They move him around a lot to get him the football down to the 30, Dusty. And now with 1:03 to go, a timeout called by the Huskers.
Timeout, Nebraska. Their first charge, 30 seconds in length.
They're smart with Spielman, right? Because he's such a dynamic playmaker, and defensively, you know, they want to try to take him away. They're going to move him around and make sure defensively, you know, you can identify him, know exactly where he's at, and able to stop him.
How big is a score here for Nebraska with about a minute left in the first half?
Yeah, they need to get points, right? I mean, especially coming off the turnover where they give up 7. You know, you'd like to see them be able to score some points here, have some momentum before they go into halftime. 7's better than 3, but at this point, you got to find a way just to come up with some points on the scoreboard.
We're back out here, and this season Taco Bell celebrating student sections. Passionate fans like these by awarding the best student section of the year. Northwestern Wildcats student section already on the national watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. The pass complete to a Zigbo. Got a nice block out in front of him, and all the way down to the 12-yard line. Another Nebraska first down.
Got to get out of bounds if you're a Zigbo. You got to understand that, you know, exactly where the clock's at. He could have easily stepped out. Now they got to go fast.
Martinez hands it off again. A gaping hole. Touchdown, Nebraska. Boy, did that work out well.
Well, that's why he didn't step out, right?
Had it planned the whole time, partner.
Outstanding job on the interior of the offensive line for Nebraska. Tanner Farmer, Gerald Foster, Bo Wilson opening up a gaping hole for a Zigbo.
Zigbo with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, 13th of his career. Barrett Pickering with the extra point, and he missed it. He shanked it to the right. So the true freshman with a rare miss.
See how Scott Frost reacts to this.
He's walking the green mile over to Scott Frost.
Man. He's already missed the field goal. Now he misses an extra point. Maybe Scott Frost needs to cool off before he goes over and talks to his kicker. How about the big uglies up front for Nebraska? They needed to block better. You see Farmer on the inside the center. How about 56 Bo Wilson? He seals his guy off. Massive hole for a Zigbo as he walks into the end zone. He's put together a heck of a first half here in Evanston today.
Guys like Dave Remington and the old school Nebraska guys would have been proud of blocking up front like that, huh?
Been some dudes on the offensive line come to Nebraska.
Scott Frost wants to bring those glory days back. He's had people like Jason Peter, Mike Rucker, Grant Wistrom all come in and speak with the team. Looking for their first win of the season, trailing by 1. They'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. This was what it looked like for Scott Frost after that missed extra point. Past the Excedrin. It has been a very trying year so far, but he likes to tell us addition by subtraction sometimes. The guys that are there now, he feels, have turned the corner because the players that weren't buying in have left.
He's got players holding other players accountable now. They said Purdue was that turning point.
Forcing over the middle, complete. Out to the 33-yard line. Skowronek making the ground. They got 3 timeouts remaining with 32 seconds to go.
Time coming off the clock here. Got to go fast.
Thorson again. Complete. That's Moulton out of the backfield. Got enough for the first down. Picked up 4 on the play. 18 seconds to go. They got to keep it moving. The clock is rolling, and Fitz is going to concede.
That's a little surprising. Senior quarterback, big arm. You got Flynn Nagel's having a heck of a day. You've had some success in the second quarter throwing the football.
The first half.
I don't know, man. I mean, what are you going to do with those timeouts? Take them home with you?
Can't cash them in for much. That's the end of the first half. We're going to go back to the studio and the State Farm halftime report. Kevin, Mac, Jonathan, after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back, everyone, to college football presented by Walmart. Here from Evanston, Illinois. Nebraska trailing by a point, and you know the Wildcats head coach Fitzgerald has a lot of fans at the worldwide leader.
In a sport where the word loyalty has no place whatsoever, Pat Fitzgerald stands out like purple royalty.
I was a student broadcaster when Pat was there for the '96 season, and he was a go-getter. He was in on every tackle.
The face of our school is football coach Pat Fitzgerald, and there is absolutely no one who better represents what Northwestern University athletics stand for.
He is a class act. He embodies Northwestern.
Coach Pat Fitzgerald is a Wildcat. Fast offenses, good defenses for as long as we can keep them.
Randy Scott saying, for as long as we can keep him. Well, Jim Phillips, the athletic director here at Northwestern, has Coach Fitz under lock for that 10-year deal that he recently signed. Good move for them.
It's a smart move by them. Pat Fitzgerald is a fantastic football coach. I love his passion, his energy, and he's real. I mean, one of the more likable college football coaches you'll find anywhere in the country.
Yeah, he sells the city of Chicago and this school as well as anybody does. Bolt on the run as we take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by Charles Schwab. A couple of touchdowns for Nebraska in the first half. The first one coming on the opening drive of the ball game by J.D. Spielman, and then a late scoop and score by Northwestern to take the lead. They're up by 1. Thorson fires complete to 84, Cameron Green about 3 yards shy of the first down.
One thing a bit concerning, Northwestern still not able to run the football. Just 22 yards rushing on 13 carries in the first half. And, you know, Pat Fitzgerald and his staff told us that a huge point of emphasis was for the offensive line, you know, to really win the line of scrimmage and get this rushing attack going. We have not done that whatsoever to this point.
3rd and 3. Thorson just got rid of it, completes it for the first down. Out to the 41, Cameron Green with a nice catch. Well, the ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Out to the 41-yard line, first down and 10 on the 14-yard gain. Pressure coming by Nebraska. They didn't get there in time, but forcing the incompletion. Luke Gifford there covering Cameron Green.
Cameron Green's really become, you know, aside from Flynn Nagel, the #2 option for Clayton Thorson. Former wide receiver, turned to tight end. Plays a lot of snaps for these guys and has a good knack for being able to get open in those intermediate throws from Mr. Thorson.
19 of 24, pretty impressive stats. But just one offensive touchdown in the first half. Off his back foot, wide open and incomplete at the 25-yard line. Kyrick McGowan couldn't squeeze it.
Big hit delivered by Khalil Davis. Beats the offensive line, gets a nice hit on Clayton Thorson, but Clayton Thorson holds on to it and delivers a nice pass down the field, just out past the outstretched arms of Kyrick McGowan. Guy who had a 77-yard touchdown a week ago, a vertical threat. Like to see him come down with that football. Missed opportunity for the Northwestern offense.
3rd and 10. Another pressure coming. This ball might have been tipped, complete at midfield. And now down to the 42. Lees with the first down for Northwestern at the 41. An 18-yard pass and catch.
Long throw for Clayton Thorson. Far hash all the way to the sidelines. Watch the control on the sidelines by Lees. Stays up, good balance, stays in bounds to get enough to move the chains.
Comes out slinging again. Thorson taking a deep shot and intercepted at the 3-yard line by Antonio Reed. He tried to hit Holman on the play, but Reed came in and flew through the air for the pick.
Clayton Thorson never saw the deep safety. Antonio Reed going to be playing up top. Never saw him.
That's the 3rd interception of the season for Nebraska.
A deep safety over the top. He just plays center field. Gets an easy interception. Clayton Thorson thought he had man-to-man coverage. And a very acrobatic and athletic interception.
1st and 10 from the 3-yard line for Adrian Martinez. Divine Ozigbo in the backfield. Ozigbo on the carry out to the 6, picks up 3.
Well, guys, Nebraska head coach Scott Frost very encouraged by the performance of his freshman quarterback Adrian Martinez in the first half. He said he's doing everything we need him to do for us to win. Very encouraged by his response to that sack fumble. We just need to be more efficient on offense. Also, Stanley Morgan Jr. hasn't been as involved. He said they're moving their best corner on top of him. We need to get creative and open him up.
Although that time they used Jack Stoll, the tight end. Yeah, Morgan Jr. is one of their top targets. Had 25 catches coming into the game this afternoon.
Montre Hardage, 24, is that top cornerback for Northwestern that Molly was alluding to. They still got to find a way to get him touches, though, Jonesy.
Zigbo zigging and zagging out to the 20-yard line. What do you do to get Morgan Jr. open? Is it moving him around? Is it that simple?
Motion, move him around. You know, if they're going to go man-to-man coverage and he's going to follow him all over the field, move him around. Just try to create, you know, some way that Hardage can't stay with him. Snap the ball while he's still in motion, let him get up the field.
Morgan Jr., a native of New Orleans. He's thinking about coming out after last season. Decided to return for some unfinished business at Nebraska. Martinez incomplete for Ozigbo at the 19-yard line. Good pressure by Jordan Thompson, number 99. He was right up in Martinez's grill. And 3rd and long coming up now for Nebraska.
Thompson working on Matt Farniok, the right tackle. Quality pressure to get the ball out of Martinez's hands before he wanted to.
Oregon is split into the boundary. Bottom of the screen.
Also put him in the slot.
Spielman, another one of Martinez's favorite targets. Martinez, though, got his giddy up on and picks up the first down. A sprint out to the 33-yard line for the true freshman. 18 years old. Didn't even play because of injury in his senior year in high school. They picked up 12 yards there.
Spread the field. Defenders spread out. There's a lot of green grass in the middle.
All day on the post. And complete at the 43-yard line to Morgan Jr. So finally, Dusty, they got the ball to him.
Sometimes you just got to put the ball up and let your playmakers go make plays. I know Montre Hardage is on him, but Stanley Morgan, one of the better wide receivers in the Big Ten, hits him on a post route, man-to-man coverage. Stanley Morgan said, I got you on this one. Nice throw and catch.
26 yards on the pickup. Martinez on a predetermined run. Got a great block and tripped up at the 40-yard line by Hardage. Boy, Montre Hardage just played a pretty nice game on the corner for 24 right there for the Wildcats.
Shut down corner. They'll play cat coverage. Put him on the opposing team's best receiver and let him run with him all throughout the afternoon.
I'll tell you what, on a day like this, a cool day, he won't be cramping up like he did last week at Michigan State. Nice block on the edge, the pass complete, and all the way down to the 27-yard line. It's J.D. Spielman. Spielman picks up the first down.
Continue to be creative. Work Spielman out of the backfield. Throw a swing screen to him outside. You'll see Northwestern loses contain. They got 2 defenders outside. Fights inside the block, and they allow Spielman to get to the perimeter and utilize his speed.
Martinez keeps it. And tackled at about the 21-yard line. Martinez had a play last week in that game against Wisconsin, similar to that, but closer to the end zone, where he simply made a move and outran the defender into the end zone to score the touchdown.
Speed, dynamic player with the football in his hands.
2nd and 4. Ozigbo down to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. Like Gallagher making the tackle. Homecoming weekend here in Evanston, Illinois. The alumni looking to see the home team's first home win of the season. They've won twice on the road this year, but not at home.
Like a run with the quarterback read option.
Martinez pulls it out and passes to Spielman complete. Let's see where they spot this. They're going to give him the first down. At about the 16-yard lines on the 4-yard gain by Spielman, who, according to the coaches, has had the best season of all the wide receivers so far. They go quick. Ozigbo stays on his feet and makes it down to the 11-yard line. Took the hit from Trent Goins and picked up 5.
Trent Goins missed the tackle at the line of scrimmage. We've seen Ozigbo make a lot of Northwestern defenders miss here today.
Gets another opportunity. Great sidestep. Oh, hit him with the sauce. Ozigbo stretching, reaching, and short of the end zone. Patty Fisher tripped him up, but a 10-yard gain.
Well, they told us, and I was watching the tape, Ozigbo doesn't make people miss. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Jump cut, make you miss here. A little stutter step. Making several Northwestern defenders miss.
Yeah, don't believe it.
Man.
We've seen that more than once this afternoon, Dusty.
Yeah. Jump cuts are in full effect today.
Is under further review.
We're going to look at the previous play to see where his knee touched. Ozigbo getting the windshield cleaned there by his teammate. We're going to see where the ball was in relation to the goal line on the previous play.
Stretched it out.
Sure did.
He was going down.
There's one more look at it. And if his knee touched before that or well behind him. But Ozigbo has run the ball 13 times for 90 yards today and has 1 touchdown. Boy, that was close.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was short of the goal line. First down.
So with Washington out of the game and Martinez imploring passionately there in the huddle, Nebraska on the threshold of taking the lead here. 14th play of the drive coming up. And Pat Fitzgerald's defense seemingly on its heels a little bit here, Dusty.
And this is the 2nd time. Remember, to start the game, Nebraska took the opening possession right down the field. And here to start this 2nd half, same thing for Nebraska. A lot of success on this drive that started all the way back at the 3-yard line.
1st and goal. Martinez is going to keep it. And he's going to be stopped up about a 1.5 feet short of the end zone by Miller. Send up Miller out of Houston, Texas, making the stop on the play. There's Mike Hankwitz, the defensive coordinator, calling out the play.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 4, Nebraska on the Northwestern 1-yard line.
Impressive drive that started off on the 3-yard line.
A run to the right, overloaded to the right with extra offensive linemen.
That's exactly what they do, and touchdown, Ozigbo. He earned it. Took it to his right, ever so slightly. And Nebraska taking the lead.
They went tackle over. They moved Brendan Hymas from the left tackle over to the right. They put Jack Stoll, the tight end, in at left tackle. So you have an overload to the right. We've seen how physical and elusive Ozigbo's been today. Clearly, the senior 235-pound running back was going to get his opportunity to hit pay dirt.
And that ties Ozigbo's career high with a couple of touchdowns in a game. Pickering missed a field goal a moment ago, but knocks through the extra point. Actually missed an extra point, and Scott Frost happy about the result that time. Homecoming weekend, and Pat Fitzgerald and Scott Frost looking for that W. Back after this. And welcome back, everyone. You're watching college football presented by Walmart. 20-14, Nebraska taking a lead a moment ago. Mark Jones chopping it up with Dusty Dvorak and Holland McGrath down on the sidelines with a benevolent sky spattering down on a pristine field on a perfect Saturday afternoon for college football from the 13-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Well, coming up next on ABC and ESPN2, Pac-12 Showdown. Number 7 Washington taking on number 17 Oregon at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. A huge Big Ten tilt at the Big House. Wisconsin, Michigan, both games live on the ESPN app, and you can watch anywhere.
Michigan team, watching them on tape in preparation for this game, they are playing at a high level on both sides of the football. Should be a good one tonight in Ann Arbor.
Well, Jim Harbaugh's teams have struggled, though, against top 10 opponents throughout his tenure.
It's 2-8 against top 15 teams.
7:07 to go in the third. They're going to run it with Moten. And Moten picked up about 3 yards. What do you make of that that Washington-Oregon game is going to be 5?
Well, Oregon, you know, coming off a bye week, right? So they're going to be well-rested, well-prepared. I think Justin Herbert is spinning it right now as good as anybody in college football. He's going to have a big day. I think Washington, too complete a football team defensively, run it with a veteran quarterback. I'll take the Huskies on the road. That's going to be a heck of a game in Eugene.
Yeah, I love the way Washington is playing right now. Thorson under duress and sacked back at the 13-yard line. Good heat up front by Mohamed Berry. Guy who coaches say absolutely loves football.
Mo Berry, the leader of this defense. You're going to see him bring him on a blitz. And he's going to get home and get clean. Outstanding blitzer, times it up, works a round vault. The running back forces him up for his fellow defenders to get the sack.
Leads the team with tackles coming into the ball game today. 3rd and 9. Thorson got away from heat and forced to throw it away, incomplete at the 25-yard line. More pressure this time from Luke Gifford.
Luke Gifford's breaking out the pass rush moves today. Watch this spin move. He hits inside. Unable to get the quarterback down, but he hits him with a spin. Little okey-doke. He's going to come inside. Woo. Nice spin move. That's what forced Clayton Thorson to move off his spot, forced him to get a little uncomfortable and get that ball out of his hand. Not a sack, but a big-time pressure.
What great footwork there by Gifford, the senior. Here's Spielman, flag down on the field. Spielman with a little bit of room, and still on his feet, finally tackled at the 32-yard line. Flag back at the 42, though.
During the return, holding, return team number 26. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down, timeout.
That would be us, media. 5:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. A Husker head there.
What?
Kind of frightening.
I don't want to eat that corn. Man.
Hey, Halloween is close. You can tell. You know, John Evans was one of the original founders of Northwestern University in 1851. He was named for the first board of trustees, president at the university. The city of Evanston was later named for him shortly after. In 1854, he became the 2nd governor of Colorado. From 1862 to 1865, as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Some of the pertinent points in the ball game so far. Boy, Nebraska racking up the yardage like they did, albeit in a loss against Wisconsin.
You know, Northwestern obviously with 2 touchdowns, but one of those a defensive touchdown. So Nebraska defensively has really stepped up, playing their best game of the season to this point.
And good news for the Huskers, Dusty. Maurice Washington is back in the backfield. Martinez flushed out. Waved his receiver downfield, but that pass going to be incomplete at the 33. Intended for Woodyard.
Good pressure inside by Sadute Miller. Gets his hands on Adrian Martinez, but Martinez very tough to bring down in that pocket. He gets outside, gets the ball out of his hand.
Best starting field position of the game for Nebraska. Martinez gets rid of it quickly to his tight end. Stoll with a nice move and is tackled right near that first down marker, and a good block by J.D. Spielman out front. Gotta love it when those receivers get involved.
Especially when he's 5'9", 185 pounds. Doesn't care. He's a football player from a football family. I liked how Adrian Martinez dropped down to 3/4, flung that ball from a different arm angle to get it out to his tight end on the flat.
The ruling on the field is a first down with the runner down prior to the ball coming loose. It's under further review.
Okay, so going to take a look at this one. Whether it comes over the top or from the side, Martinez has been on so far in the second half.
Timeout.
Timeout after this. Welcome back, everyone. After video review, they rule that it's 3rd down and 1 to go for Nebraska. 5:13 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Cornhuskers up by 6. Looking incredibly for their first win of the season, 6 games in. Martinez at quarterback. Divine Ozigbo has done a great job at tailback today. Ozigbo picks up the first down inside the 30 to the 28. Tackled by Pace. Picked up 4.
Nice job blocking off the left side. Big hole opened up for Ozigbo. Easy first down pickup for the Husker offense. The second half has been dominated on both sides of the ball by Nebraska. Takeaway, forcing a punt, touchdown, and here they are on the move for the second time.
Martinez has time in the pocket over the middle and intercepted in the end zone by Pace.
The ruling on the field is an interception, touchback, ball at the 20.
Martinez tried to hit Woodyard, but Pace from his safety position came over and made his 2nd interception of the season.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Northwestern defense. All right, let's take a look here. Safety, right? He's going to be right here, and he's going to work his way to the middle of the field. But as we roll this, Martinez frees it. Never looks, he looks here the whole way, never looks back. And J.R. Pace gets an easy interception as he reads the quarterback's eyes and plays center field for the interception.
Let's see if the Wildcats can capitalize. Thorson over the middle, complete. Out to the 35-yard line. Jefferson on the reception for the Wildcats. Reed on the tackle for Nebraska. Clock running with 4:20 to go.
Well, Mark, Clayton Thorson was calm and confident on the sideline. He told his O-line, we were in the same position last week and we responded well. You remember offensive lineman Tommy Doles told us Thorson's biggest improvement has been his vocal leadership.
At that time, Molly tried to find Flynn Nagel. And Thorson has really responded well to adversity this year. He's thrown a lot of untimely picks, frankly, this season, but each time he's bounced back and composed himself and played well in the aftermath.
Coach told us, very even kill on the surface, below the surface, internally very intense, but does a nice job with his teammates keeping his emotions in check.
Green in motion that he sets. They ran a little power, little counter out to the 35-yard line. Ball brought down. Well, our Week 6 Monday Night Football game is an NFC matchup at Lambeau Field. 49ers Buccaneers taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Also simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish and available on ESPN app, so you can watch the game anywhere. Should I have said left goal field?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Packers not very well looked upon around these parts, Jones.
You're Chicago guy, right?
Yeah, I just mean here where we're at. I don't like the cheeseheads around here.
Milwaukee Brewers winning last night. Pass complete. Thorson found his Mr. Reliable Nagel out to midfield. And a first down by Flynn Nagel. Brought down by Taylor.
Clayton Thorson buying himself some time. Nebraska's going to dial the blitz. They're going to have pressure coming. Clayton Thorson rolling to his right. Flynn Nagel knows he's going to get open. Outstanding job by the senior quarterback making a play.
Thorson with tons of time. Going to take off and slide safely at the 44-yard line. And Thorson might have hurt himself a little bit on the slide. Remember, he's coming off of surgery. And is still, by some estimation at least, getting back to 100%.
They said that he was a month and a half ahead of schedule when the year started against Purdue. He was on a pitch count. He was sharing reps with TJ Green as he goes into a slide. It looks like he got kicked in the knee. He took a cleat to the knee. Doesn't feel very good, Jonesy.
2nd and 6. Hands it off this time to Moten. And Moten, let's see where they spotted it. About a yard shy of the first down. Boodle making the tackle. Let's take one more look
Officials
at Thorson.
For an offensive injury.
Oh, yeah, that left cleat by the defender got into his pant leg, and we have an injured player down to the field. That's Moten at the 41-yard line. Limping on that right leg. Pat Fitzgerald told us that this was the hardest week of practice that they've had this year, and that was in part an effort to get his players' attention, knowing that maybe some of them might be looking at Nebraska's 0-5 record and thinking, hey, we got this.
And not feeling too good about going on the road and beating a good Michigan State team, right? So it's kind of double, it's a double duty on that. You don't want to feel too good about after winning a game, how you're going to respond. And then, yeah, he knows this Nebraska team is far better than what their record indicates, and he wanted to make sure that these guys were focused and they approached this week the proper way. They have GPS tracking devices on them, and they had their highest workload the entire season, so he felt that they were very well prepared coming in for this matchup.
Put a lot of mileage on the guys and some work in heading for this game. 3rd down and 1. The jumbo formation here. Green in motion and sets. Let's see if they got enough push. Looks like he got enough for the first down. Thorson kept it himself. And when they unpile all the humanity, it's a first down for the Wildcats. Under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They trail by 6.
Thorson got some nice help from his tight end. Cameron Green came behind him. A little extra nudge to make sure he got enough to move the chains.
Play clock at 5. Thorson down the sidelines, incomplete, and a flag thrown on the play against Boodle. He is covering Jefferson.
A lot of contact down the field. Boodle never turned around to make a play on the football. Continue to contact the receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
It's the right call by the official. Boodle has to turn back, make a play on the football. He can't continue to contact the receiver that far down the field. Easy call for the official.
.118 to go in the 3rd. Northwestern looking for its first home win of the season. Thorson going into the end zone and incomplete. Intended for number 88, Skoranek. Lamar Jackson back there defending. Let's go back to the studio.
Thanks, Jonesy. Number 21, Auburn, struggling on the plains against Tennessee. And take a look at this catch. Jared Garantano to Jason Jennings. Great grab. Puts the Volunteers up 20-17. This one over on the SEC network. Mark, Dusty, Molly, back to you.
All right, Cass. Second down and 10. Little blitz coming off the edge. Thorson got rid of it quick. And nobody home. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long coming up for the Wildcats.
They brought it from both sides. Excellent timing up the blitz by Luke Gifford as he got home. Also Trey Neal, the safety, coming down, the former Central Florida transfer. Try to help this defense.
Big down coming up here for Northwestern.
Huge down coming up. Empty set coming. I think you'd have to look for Flynn Nagel right down here in the bottom, working the slot.
The receiver screen got rid of it quick, complete. Fighting and not enough for the first down. Vault caught it, but couldn't escape Dedrick Young, who made the kick, the tackle on the play. And Northwestern now will send in its field goal unit, which sports a new place kicker. Luckenbaugh will come in, attempting his first field goal of his career. A walk-on kicker hooks it to the left. And the Wildcats come up empty on the drive. Don't get any points out of it. With 26 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. That one never had a chance. Drew Luckenbaugh. You can tell by his reaction it wasn't good. As for his head coach, Coach Fitzgerald, hey, you got to clap him up.
Staying positive.
Got to love him up a little bit.
Staying positive with him. He may have to rely on him once again before this game's over.
26 seconds to go in the 3rd. Ozigbo got through the initial wave of tacklers, cuts it back. Ozigbo into Wildcat territory, still on his feet. Unrelenting and unstopping. Ozigbo with a 37-yard gallop.
Ozigbo, it's been a heck of an afternoon for him. This offensive line blocking. Hits the whole downhill, little zig, little zag. It's all about Zigbo here this afternoon.
I'm not listening to Troy Walters anymore about getting just 5. I put 5 on it. I put a lot more on it.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
3 quarters in the books. 15 minutes to play here in Evanston. And the question begs on homecoming, how much grit and determination and heart do the Wildcats have left going into the final quarter? More from Evanston after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back, everyone, to Evanston. You're watching the Big Ten on ABC. It's homecoming weekend here in Evanston on the 2nd Saturday of October. Ozigbo has been eviscerating this Northwestern defense in the 2nd half. That offensive line clearing the way on another impressive run, and this was the scene, Dusty, during the break.
Things are going right. Smiles are up his faces, little dancing, laughing. This offensive line in Nebraska has really imposed their will on the front for Northwestern this afternoon.
21-yard gain on the last play. Ozigbo this time picks up 3. You saw the look on Coach Frost's face. What does a win do for this team right now?
We talked with Eric Shenander, the defensive coordinator, and he said a win makes everything go away, even for just a day, makes the kids feel good, walk around with your chest puffed out. He said these kids, they need to feel that, and they're 14 minutes and change away from having that feeling.
Maurice Washington back in the ball game. Little trips left formation. Washington in the backfield gets the call. Sprinting through the hole and inside the 5-yard line to the the 3.
Nice little 1-2 combination, right? A Zigbo, even though he's more the Thunder, he's got a little shake to him, but Washington, man, he'll make you miss, and he's got that speed in the open field.
And he's going to use it here, getting to the edge. There's the Lightning. Touchdown, Nebraska. Washington with his first rushing touchdown of the season. The impressive freshman from Stockton, California. And they're going to go for 2 right now, it looks like.
The balance of this Husker offense today has been unbelievably impressive. Getting it done on the ground, through the air, however you want it. Yeah. They're getting it done today.
It's a little surprising to see Coach Frost smiling so much on the sidelines a moment ago. But his team kind of taking his tenor and his mood and playing relaxed, productive football right now, and a timeout called by the Cornhuskers before they go for 2. But they lead by 12 points. Just underway here in the 4th quarter play, looking for their first win of the season. Nebraska has never started 0-6 in the school's football history. One more look at that touchdown run. What was the key here?
Well, they get to the edge. Go ahead and roll that, guys. They do an excellent job getting to the edge. A missed tackle inside by Bergen. He tries to come underneath. And the speed for Washington to the perimeter allows him to walk into the end zone. 71, Matt Farniok with a good initial block at the point of attack. Chris Bergen, the linebacker, comes underneath. Nobody's outside to account for the true freshman running back, Maurice Washington. How about that? Adrian Martinez, Maurice Washington, both true freshmen for this Husker offense. Nebraska fans going to be excited to see those guys in the foreseeable future. Watch Washington as he motions out, can still catch the football very well in the backfield.
They go empty. Martinez can run it himself. Went high and came down with the score. They get the 2 points, and they lead by 14. We talked about winning, and I always say winning is like a good deodorant, Dusty. It covers up a lot of stuff that stinks. And it's smelling pretty good for the Huskers when we come back.
It is a sea of red here at Northwestern, but it feels like you're in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska fans are loud in crucial moments. They showed up early. They're chanting "Go Big Red," and I'm told in 2016 Northwestern had to switch to a silent cadence at home because of the Husker faithful guys.
Wow, Molly. So the noise was that loud? Have you ever heard of anything like that or seen it?
Husker Nation, they roll deep, man. They roll deep. One of the best one of the best fan bases in all college football. When I played in Oklahoma, I had a chance to play in Lincoln twice. We played there in 2005. We wind up beating Nebraska in a close game. It was 27-24. And these fans gave us a standing ovation to the point they're cheering for us, yelling, "No, my number 94, you're a heck of a player." And I'm thinking, what's going on? I just think, I mean, they travel well, they support their program, but really some of the best fans in all of college football.
And they are being rewarded with a great performance, perhaps the team's first win of the season. Thorson completes it out at the 30-yard line. Fessler. That's his first catch of the ball game. Still plenty of time left, down 2 touchdowns. Got to get to work quickly, though, against a Nebraska defense in the big picture, which has been the story of this game. That pass complete at the 40. And Skoranek stepped out of bounds. And up for the first down, though. Don't forget, coming up a little later at 3:30 Eastern on the other side of this, Oregon number 17 against Washington. Thorson behind his receiver, incomplete for Volt. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. You know, Thorson had arguably his worst game of the year against Akron about 4 weeks ago. Threw a couple of pick sixes, had a fumble in his own end zone for an Akron score. But to see him come back from that and play well in the ensuing games is a big reason why they're in a position to do some good things. You got to get to work here, though. Pressure coming by Nebraska. Thorson caught by Nagel. And Nagel, with no one between him and the end zone, scores.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 24. Touchdown.
61 yards for the touchdown. And Northwestern strikes quickly to answer the previous touchdown by the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Well, Jonesy, you mentioned Clayton Thorson and his poise, right? To be able to shake off bad plays. He showed poise in the pocket. Nebraska dials up a blitz. They're going to get it's going to get home. He's got to throw the football off his back foot. And he finds his favorite target, Flynn Nagel.
That was a big and timely touchdown by Northwestern. A career-long reception. Fits his team back in it.
Special connection between Clayton Thorson and number 2, Flynn Nagel. He beats man-to-man coverage once again. Excellent job tracking the football. And then it's heels to the field as Northwestern gives us a ball game late in Evanston.
Beautiful day for college football here on a Saturday afternoon in Evanston, Illinois. The temperature right around 50 degrees, sunny. Slight wind coming off of Lake Michigan. Weather at the top of the hour by Mark Jones and Dusty Dvorak. 12.5 minutes to go here in the 4th. On the return, Lazur brought down after bringing it back 4 yards. Well, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Adrian Martinez, after racking up 441 total yards last week, on a good pace again here today.
Clayton Thorson says, I will not be outdone. We're not going out without a fight. Flynn Nagel with a heck of an afternoon. 7 grabs, a $149 and 2 touchdowns, career highs for him in yards and touchdowns. And how about Zigbo? He's been fantastic on the ground today for the Husker offense.
Here's Washington. They strung it out nicely. He's pushed out of bounds at the 32 by Trey Williams.
Here's the strength coach from yesterday.
How can you tell?
Well, he's gunned up, isn't he? Man.
Dude is swole. Washington out of the backfield showing off his receiving skills.
Martinez's pass is
12 minutes to go. 3rd down coming up. 3rd and short.
Zigbo in the game. Picked up several short yardage situations throughout the afternoon. 2 tights, heavy personnel in the game for Nebraska.
Behind a good offensive line that's doing a really nice job today. Zigbo. Boy, that's going to be close. I'm not sure that he got it. That spot with the right foot. If it's there, it's going to be a little bit short. But I'm sure they'll measure anyway.
Yep.
Take a look at it with our line in it. Nice job at the point of attack. Northwestern winning the line of scrimmage. I don't see how they could say he crossed our line. And here's something to think about too. Nebraska's really struggled on 4th and short this year. 1 of 9 on the season for 4th down, one of the worst in college football.
Wow, so now you wonder if you go for it or not. Looking for your first win of the season. You're up by 7 points.
I think you got to punt the ball. I think this is the right call by Scott Frost as much as you'd like to say, hey, this is Nebraska, we've run the football.
He disagrees with him.
Well, he shouldn't disagree with him. You got to punt the, I mean, for the most part, I know that your defense just gave up a long touchdown, but you played relatively well all afternoon long. The last thing you can do is allow Northwestern a short field and the opportunity to tie this game up.
Riley Lee's back on his own 15-yard line.
Fans always want to go for it, Jonesy.
I know.
Until they don't get it, and they say, why'd you go for it?
Isaac Armstrong going to punt from his own 30. They're going to let it run down a little bit. Armstrong, a line fortuitous bounce for Nebraska inside the 10-yard line. And now it's time for that defense to get a strong back, much like they've done for most of the game. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Evanston, Illinois. Coming up next on ABC and ESPN2, a Pac-12 showdown. Number 7 Washington, number 17 Oregon at 3:30, 12:30 Pacific. Then it's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. It's a huge Big Ten matchup in the Big House. Wisconsin travels to Ann Arbor to take on number 12 Michigan. Both games live on the ESPN app. You can watch anywhere. Give me your winner in the Michigan-Wisconsin game.
I got to take Michigan. I still like the physical ground attack of Wisconsin, but defensively, the Badgers, not what they've been in the last couple of years.
First and 10 for Northwestern. At the end zone, Thorson into traffic, almost picked off at the 15, intended for Cameron Green. Check in with the studio.
Thanks, Jonesy. Tennessee looking to snap an 11-game losing streak in conference at Auburn. Jared Stidham sacked, fumbles, and the football kind of bounced around like a pinball machine until Keller Crisp scoops it up to give Tennessee the 27-17 lead. Back to you guys.
All right, Cassidy. Thorson underneath and juggled and complete to Skoranek. And some great speed down the sidelines. Out to the 35-yard line. Got those shoulders north-south, Dusty, and got some good yak.
Excellent concentration by Skoranek. Across the middle of the field on a shallow cross. So ball's actually thrown behind him. Watch the concentration as he goes back, bobbles it, keeps his eyes on the football, brings it to his chest as he hits the sidelines for a big game.
Antonio Reed a little shaken up down on the field for Nebraska. There he is. Backup safety behind Aaron Williams. But Coach Fitzgerald, some well wishes of health for opposing players. Coach Fitz is really a player's guy. In meeting with him yesterday, he told us that as far as his overall philosophy is with collegiate athletics and student athletes, he's all for anything that's good for the student athletes because he believes that's why coaches should be in the business.
It's about the players, right? It's about the players, their experience,
common sense.
Even going with, this new facility. It's built, everything about it. There's the athletic director, Jim Phillips. Everything about what they do is for a better experience for the student athlete. What more could you ask from a head football coach?
They've got some great facilities. We showed them to you a little bit earlier in the show. 10.5 minutes to go. Thorson fires complete. Nagel brought down to the 41-yard line. Barkley Solomon Volt brought down after a 6-yard gain on the play. Tell you what, if you're looking for a school and you're a student athlete, great academics here, fantastic metal journalism school. So many of our graduates we've spoken to already and heard from. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jay Donde, who's a professor here, a teacher at the Medill Journalism School. Solomon Vault with another reception. We talked about Cassidy going to school here. I'm not sure if she was magna cum laude, but when I graduated, I said thank you, love. That was it.
Come on, man. Another thing, I mean, how they embrace being here in Chicago. You know, some schools in a big metropolitan area, they kind of shy away from it here. They consider themselves Chicago's Big Ten team.
Thorson in traffic and picked off. Coming back the other way, Trey Neal. Off the bobble from Flynn Nagel and a huge turnover for Nebraska.
We've seen Clayton Thorson several times today throw the ball behind his intended target. It hasn't cost him to this point, but in the biggest moment of the game, it cost Northwestern mightily. Ball's thrown behind Nagel. He tries to get one hand on it. Bobble and Trey Neal in perfect position to get a crucial interception and takeaway for this Nebraska defense. How about Trey Neal, by the way? Grad transfer, was at UCF, played for Scott Frost, wanted to follow him here to Nebraska, played for a prestigious program like the Huskers in a big-time play here late in this game.
They're going to run it into the boundary. That was Washington. Brought down at about the 33-yard line. 9:15 to go. Northwestern able to hang on late from out in front last week at Michigan State. A different story this week here in the fourth quarter.
Now the defense really has to come up big to stop.
Martinez on a predetermined quarterback run. A nice surge between the center and the right tackle. And a nice gain. SportsCenter tonight after Crawford Benavidez on ESPN with Max and Stan, Teddy Atlas and Stephen A. breaking it down in the post-fight coverage. Also highlights from Brewers, Dodgers, Astros, Red Sox. SportsCenter on ESPN after the fight.
It was basically a quarterback ISO that last play. They used the tight end as a fullback, lead up, big gaping hole once again. A nice pickup by the quarterback.
Martinez underneath, complete at the 17-yard line.
Martinez's pass is complete.
Nice little scoop. Gain of 7 yards on the play. That was number 83, Brian Reimers.
Cushion outside by the cornerback Trey Williams. Easy pitch and catch for Adrian Martinez.
Second and 3, Martinez, Spielman, and Spielman close to the first down. Cassidy, you need to sing that alma mater a little bit louder. We can't hear you, the people in the back.
I mean, Josie, I hit the high note that last time. Got to give it to me. Number 14, Florida struggling all day against Vandy, trailed by as much as 18, but Jordan Scarlett, 49-yard TD run, makes it 24 unanswered to give the Gators their first lead of the game. This one on ESPN. Back to you in beautiful Evanston.
All right, Cassidy and Washington collected the bobbled ball and took the handoff and got the first down. There was a missed tackle by Jared McGee that helped.
The safety, Jared McGee, typically quality tackler, misses a golden opportunity. Fumbled snap, ball's on the ground. Washington just tries to make a play. Talk about making something out of nothing. Disaster averted by a true freshman picking up the ball and making a play.
Nebraska goes empty. Quarterback run. This time nowhere to go. Pushed out of bounds. That's going to be a loss on the play. Back at the 16. Montre Hardage pushing him out of bounds for a loss of 2. Under 7 minutes to go. The clock working against Northwestern. Scott Frost's team looking fanatically, frantically for its first win of the season.
Looking to avoid going 0-6 for the first time in 129 years of Nebraska football.
Martinez with all day into the end zone and incomplete. Tried to hit Spielman, overshot him, but he was open for a moment.
Excellent protection by the offensive line for Nebraska, giving him plenty of time.
You'd have to go back to 1945, the last time Nebraska started 0-5. I think our producer Kim Belton covered that game.
Yeah, he did. He's aged well, Jones. He's aged very well. Hey, by the way, just a reminder, kicker for Nebraska has already missed an extra point and a field goal, so they're looking for 6, not 3.
A good call, 3rd and 12. They're going to play it conservative, handing it off to Washington. A little bit of a surprise, perhaps. So now 4th down coming up. And Scott Frost with that freshman kicker, Barrett Pickering, coming onto the field well within his field goal range. He missed one from 45 a little bit earlier, though, as well as that extra point. This one will come from 34 yards out. 4 for 8 on the season. Pickering knocks it through the pipes. Picked the right time to make it with 5:41 to go, increasing the lead to 10. 5:41 away from victory number 1 for the Husker Nation. Well, coming up next on ABC and ESPN2, it's a Pac-12 showdown in Eugene. Number 7 Washington against number 17 Oregon at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Then at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Huge Big Ten tilt to the Big House. Wisconsin, Michigan, number 15, number 12. Both games live on the app, the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. I'll be watching it on the way to the airport, on the phone. Big Ten season is starting to take a little shape and form now. Northwestern with some work to do, down by 10 as we take a look at our unexpected outcome, brought to you by ExxonMobil. Last week's win by Northwestern in East Lansing, defeating Michigan State 29-19. Here's look many yard pass to McGowan, second quarter Thorson to Jefferson with a great catch there. And then Cameron Green here in the third quarter, another perfect dime. And the Wildcats won for the 3rd consecutive time at Michigan State. Hey, maybe they should move all their home games on the road the way they're playing, huh?
He's crazy. Whatever reason, they play better away from home.
Thorson, incomplete. They can't afford any drops. Volt had his hands on that. It's incomplete.
Just thinking as we show those highlights, they need some of the receivers to make some plays like that. You have on first down a drop. You know, Clayton Thorson, he's been off a little bit today in some of his throws behind wide receivers, led to the last interception. He's got to dial it in here on a much needed drive for this football team.
Trips right formation for Thorson. Gets on his horse a little bit and wisely throws it out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up. Khalil Davis with the pressure in pursuit. On homecoming weekend, a little bit of buzzkill settling in here with time winding down in the 4th quarter. A moment of urgency and finality for Pat Fitzgerald and his offense here.
Not often does in a crucial situation in a game like this, the crowd come to their feet, and it's the opposing fan base's crowd making some noise here.
Thorson incomplete at the 27. 4th down. This Nebraska defense brought some heat today. That was Mohamed Berry there to break it up. Guy the coaches claim loves football.
Good pressure up front by the Nebraska front 4. They don't dial up any pressure. Khalil Davis closing in on there, as well as number 12, Luke Gifford off the edge. Surprised Clayton Thorson just throws the check down. You know, big 3rd and 10, and I understand not trying to force the football down the field. You don't want to throw an interception, but at the same time, you're throwing a dump down to a running back, and you got to get 10 yards in a crucial spot. Just make a lot of sense.
They have an injured player down in the field, Northwestern does. Blake Hansen, now he's actually made his way off, so he appears to be okay. 5:24 to go. There's a look at the starting left tackle out of Jacksonville, Florida. You know what? We talked about it at the top of the show. The running game has been an issue for that Northwestern team for most of the season. Only 8 yards last week. And still trying to get some help running the football. They are going to go for it here on 4th down. The 4 of 13 on the season. on 4th downs. They are going for it. Thorson completes it, and they move the chains out to the 40-yard line. Joaquil Bowman with the catch.
I think Fitzgerald felt like, they've got to score here. They've got to move the football. And right now, Nebraska's having too much success on their defense. So unorthodox go from your own 25, but
1st and 10. Underneath again, Joaquil Bowman.
I think Pat Fitzgerald just felt we have to get a 1st down right here if we want to have any chance of winning this football game.
His team came through. 2nd and 6 Northwestern on the 45-yard line.
Joaquil Bowman split to the top of your screen, man coverage. Thorson looks his way. He's going to dial it up again. Incomplete, but that's going to be a flag. He was working against Boodle.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. 1st down.
2nd PI of the day for Boodle. Looks very similar. Too much contact down the field. Man-to-man coverage, going to run with the wide receiver. Never gets turned around. Contacts receiver. Easy call by both officials. Very similar to the same play he made earlier that Drew Laundrie.
That's a 6th penalty against Nebraska today. Northwestern doesn't have any call against them. Underneath, complete. And another 1st down. Anakoa with the reception, his first one of the day. Picked up 14 yards. 1st and 10.
Quality pocket presence by Clayton Thorson, moving his feet, buying a little bit of time and waiting for his running back to get open.
Little blitz coming off the edge. Thorson gets rid of it. And that's going to be grounding. It did not go beyond the line of scrimmage.
Intentional grounding. Number 1 is in the area. 2nd down.
Oh, okay, there was a receiver in the area.
Anakoa was standing about 3 feet from where the ball hit the ground. Heads up play by Clayton Thorson just to get rid of the football. No one accounted for gift for 14. Trey Neal off the edge, brought the safety blitz. He gets it in the vicinity of Anakoa.
It was on the ground, but nonetheless close. 2nd and 10. Thorson down the sidelines. Looked like he was trying to throw that back shoulder fade, incomplete from McGowan. Working against Lamar Jackson. 3rd and 10. 4:04 to go.
I'd identify where number 2 Flynn Nagel is.
Yeah, there is.
Seems like anytime they needed a big play in these moments, he's been the guy to go get it.
Thorson comes back that way. Surveys, now trying to take off. The ball comes loose. It looks like he threw it with his left hand.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 1 was in the area.
Anakoa again in the area. So no grounding call against Thorson.
Once again, a heads-up play by Clayton Thorson. 94, Khalil Davis had a nice day today getting after the quarterback. Switches hands, throws it with his left.
Time is out for defensive injury.
We got a defensive player hurt on the field. That's Khalil Davis. So a timeout on the field with 3:51 to
Reset
go.
the game clock to 3:58. 3:58.
Turnovers have been one of the prevailing storylines, especially here in the second half. Thorson got picked on this play. Didn't see the safety coming over, number 25, Antonio Reed. And a Zigbo with a spirited run for the touchdown, and then another interception. This one by Trey Neal that resulted in a field goal. All here in the second half, favoring Nebraska. Let me ask you about this now. Northwestern with the football, they've had some kicking issues. Guy that Luckenbach kicking for the first time. missed an attempt a little bit earlier. Does it matter whether you go for the touchdown or the field goal here with 3:58 to go?
I got to be honest. I think that Pat Fitzgerald probably trusts his quarterback more than he trusts his kicker.
Okay.
I mean, you saw how bad he missed that kick, and we sat with him and talked to him yesterday. I mean, Lukenbaugh had never even attempted a kick until earlier today. So, yeah, I expect him to trust his senior quarterback, Clayton Thorson.
Here we go, 4th and 10. Play clock at 14.
High safety. They're showing pressure. See if they bail out and they come. They're coming.
Thorson given time. And there's his guy down to the 10, complete. The deuce, Flynn Nagel with the reception. And they keep drives alive.
Eric Shenander, he dials it up, man. He brings everything in the kitchen sink. The pressure gets there, but Clayton Thorson stands strong in the pocket, and he finds his go-to man once again, beating man-to-man coverage. It's Flynn Nagel.
Thorson back to pass again. Pass caught down to the 7-yard line. That was Skoranek again. Boodle with the catch. Blitz coming again by Nebraska. Thorson poised. And a late flag as Nagel was covered closely by Aaron Williams. It looked like Williams was draped all over.
Looked like he got there just a touch early.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Penalty being enforced from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Got there just a bit early. And it wasn't much early.
No.
That was close to being really good coverage, but it did look like that right hand might have hooked him around the waist as he came in with the left just a fraction before the ball got there.
Thorson has thrown for a career high 34-54 completions and attempts. One more time here into the end zone and incomplete. Lee's well covered that time. Deontay Williams providing the coverage. 2nd and goal, 3:08 to play.
This is another area where not having a quality running game just kills you, right? I mean,
But right now the defense is basically aware of the fact they're one-dimensional.
I mean, I think you have to be. I mean, you just have not seen Northwestern put much faith in the rushing attack so far here today.
13th play of the drive. Thorson sacked back at the 13-yard line by Luke Gifford again. Number 12, maybe their best overall player. And off the field, just unbelievable, really growing as a leader on that defense.
I thought Clayton Thorson had J.J. Jefferson. I thought he had him, but he didn't throw the football. Or see Gifford come clean. Nobody touches him. I thought he had J.J. Jefferson. He just didn't pull the trigger.
On 3rd and goal, Thorson over the middle. Incomplete. And that wasn't even close.
Got to kick it this time. Got to kick it this time. I know that they're 2 for 2 on this drive for 4th down, both 4th and 10s. But now you are definitely in field goal range. Okay, I think you feel much better about where this placement of the ball is than you did earlier. So I agree with this decision to kick the field goal, make it a one-possession game, trust your defense to get the stop.
Looking by him to attempt this field goal. 31 yards out, missed earlier from 42. They need this one. It's that simple. And he responds in kind. So it's a 7-point game with 2:27 to go. Can Nebraska close it out and earn their first win? Northwestern's defense needing to come up with a stop here on this next possession.
They got all 3 timeouts. They could play the clock game, but obviously you're going to have to get a stop. And you would have to think here, a Zigbo, Martinez, the ground game for Nebraska has been so crucial for them today.
Tell me about that offensive line of the Cornhuskers. For me, that seems to be the story of the game. The fact that they've moved it so well on the ground against a pretty good Northwestern defense.
Very solid front. Again, I mean, they don't have dynamic playmakers, but they are solid across the front. And, you know, when I watch the tape getting ready for this game, this isn't the same Nebraska offensive line that I typically watch. You know, they're getting beat. They're not playing as physical. Tanner Farmer is reaching. He's the leader. He's the tough-minded guy that runs that offensive line room. He's been fantastic up front. Gerald Foster, the left guard, Bo Wilson, Matt Farniok, Brendan Hymas. That group for me. Why has Nebraska had so much success today? Why have they been able to come in here to Northwestern and move the football almost at will? Those big guys up front. How about this?
Onside kick. It looks like they're lining up for one here. Wow, they go for the onside kick, get the bounce, but recovered by Nebraska at the 47-yard line by Luke Gifford. Didn't quite get the carom or bounce that they would have desired, you would think. Dusty, that begs the question. With 2:26 to go, would you put a little bit more trust in your defense, or you go for it now with the onside kick?
I would have kicked the ball deep, no question. I'm a little bit in shock right now that we just saw that. 3 timeouts. A defense has played well throughout the course of the season, and I just don't know. But clearly, that shows Pat Fitzgerald. I'm putting as much faith in his defense as what I would have anticipated.
Well, we'll see if this Nebraska team can put this game on ice. They haven't won a game all season. They got a true freshman at quarterback, Adrian Martinez, from the 47-yard line of Northwestern. Nothing doing on first down as Zigbo will lose a couple of yards. And anticipate a timeout coming here by Northwestern, and they call it.
Northwestern, it is their first charge, 30 seconds.
From a field possession standpoint, I mean, even if you get a stop, you're going to have plenty of time, but you know, you're going to have to travel the length of the field to try to go score.
Even if you get the 3 and out, you're going further, right?
And I even go back to, think about before the end of the half, right? They had the ball, 3 timeouts left. I think it was 33 seconds, and they basically elected not to try to score any points, not to try to move the football, utilize those timeouts, and here we see an onside kick when it seems like you should kick deep and just try to let your defense get a stop. I don't know. Pat Fitzgerald, as much respect for him as anybody in college football, but a little bit surprised by what we've seen at the end of the half and now here late in this football game.
2:21 to play. This Nebraska team literally learning how to win as we watch this afternoon. Martinez hands it off to his tailback to Zigbo again. And nothing doing again. And Northwestern going to burn another timeout with 2:16 to play.
Timeout, Northwestern. It's their second charge, 30 seconds in length.
Scott Frost has had a very circuitous journey through college football. Beginning as a player, then a coach, player at Stanford, Nebraska. He's from Nebraska. Green Bay, the Jets, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, Kansas State, Northern Iowa, Oregon as offensive coordinator, Central Florida. It's a lot of mileage.
All roads lead to Lincoln,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there's one common spot there. Lincoln, Nebraska.
Molly McGrath line. How about the influence he's had from those coaches? Man, impressive list of guys. They're giving him a lot of his traits as a head coach.
3rd and 10. They're going to hand it off to Spielman, who makes it to the 44-yard line. So 4th down, they'll punt here. Miller making the tackle.
Northwestern.
And Northwestern burns its final timeout.
They
got the stop they needed. Exactly what they wanted. Out of timeouts now and forcing Nebraska to punt the football. Going to be backed up on their own end more than likely.
Isaac Armstrong, the Cornhusker punter. He only used up 15 seconds in those 3 plays. So in that sense, a little bit of a win for Pat Fitzgerald in validation. See if Isaac Armstrong can pin them inside the 20-yard line here. Riley Lee's back there standing at his own 10. Anything beyond the 10, he's going to let it bounce over his head. Armstrong with an end-over-end punt. Oh, you couldn't have done it better with a 9-iron all the way down to the 1-yard line, Dusty. That is an MVP punt by Isaac Armstrong.
9-iron, that was a sandwich. It's like a Phil Mickelson sandwich. Pull that thing back. Wow. Impressive. That's
43 yards. Had it gone 44, it wouldn't have been as good. So 2:02 to go. They've got 99 yards to go. Okay, I'll give it to you. Sandwich.
Yeah. That might even be a 60 degree. Look at this thing. Zip. Spin back. Excellent execution by the Nebraska punt team. A long way to go for Northwestern to tie this thing up.
Thorson, the senior, pulls the trigger. Incomplete, intended for Cameron Green. And we have a flag. Might be roughing the passer in the end zone. A Nebraska player on the sidelines.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with the blow to the head. Defense number 96. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Boy, that's a costly penalty this late. Carlos Davis, the culprit.
Timeout for defensive injury.
Got to be smarter than that in that spot, man. Can't go anywhere near the quarterback's head. Costly mistake by Carlos Davis there.
And that's one of their better defensive players, maybe their best, Luke Gifford, being tended to by the athletic training staff. Last week against 3 touchdown drives with less than a minute, so in that context, plenty of time with 1:59 to go. But Nebraska, conversely, is going to miss this guy, Luke Gifford, if he's got to come off the field. 6'4" senior from Lincoln, Nebraska, has made some big plays for them today. And part of what Scott Frost is going through right now in the evolution of his team, Dusty, is them learning how to win, them learning how to finish in these kind of situations, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the only way you learn how to finish is to do it on the field as a team. And it's not easy, right? As Scott Frost has talked to us about, and this season has bared out, changing a culture, changing a mentality, learning how to win together the right way, the way Scott Frost wants it done. It's not easy.
He claims it's all about the details. Under 2 minutes to go. Thorson. Incomplete at the 18-yard line, intended for Solomon Vault out of the backfield. Boy, this defense for Nebraska has really acquitted itself well today. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Cedric Young with excellent coverage on the running back out of the backfield. Nowhere for Clayton Thorson to go with the football down the field.
Skoranek in motion. Pass complete at the 22-yard line. Number 19, Riley leads. We have a lot of underneath stuff. At some point, you got to take a shot. 3rd and 5.
We'll work some routes toward the sideline so you can get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Thorson with time. Pass caught. A 1st down. That's Nagel out at the 33. No timeouts remaining. 1:21 to go.
It's 3rd down. You need to play. Who do you go to? Nobody else than Flynn Nagel. Wow. What day he's had.
Their leading receiver.
It's going to be a false start on 70.
Oh, wow.
Slater jumps early.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty remains.
Ironically, that is the first penalty today against Northwestern. And it comes at a very inopportune time for Pat Fitzgerald's team. Wow.
Said Slater, my apologies. Blake Hance, the left tackle. I think a couple of them might have moved early before the snap. Costly mistake here late in the game. As you said, first penalty of the game.
Clock running. Complete. Nagel again. Brought down immediately by Deontay Williams. A 9-yard gain.
They got to speed this up, Jones. They're taking way too much time. They're running out of clock, man. They got to go much faster.
Not showing the urgency you would think with time running at 40 seconds to go. Thorson got his man. Flag down at the 45. Nagel pushed out of bounds at about the 32.
I think it's going to be interference on 24, Aaron Williams. There's a lot of contact as that pass was delivered, and Flynn Nagel gets open.
Holding. Defense. That penalty decline results in play. First down.
Wow, they're in business.
Slot fade. If Flynn Nagel's working in the slot, he's just going to run a fade, and it's man-to-man coverage with Aaron Williams, and Aaron Williams has to grab him and hold on because Nagel's running past him.
32-yard gain. Now 1st and 10 from the 32. Got him open. Caught. 1st and goal from the 5. Skoranek. With 25 seconds to go. No timeouts remaining. Threatening. Do they ground it here? They will. They'll spike it. And stop the clock with 17 seconds to go. Clayton Thorson poised in the pocket.
Start the play clock.
Huge throw over the middle on the post to Skoranek. Big target at 6'4", goes up and gets it. Handles the hit. Man, we got action, partner.
Little blitz coming. Thorson caught. Touchdown, Northwestern Jefferson. Wow, what a comeback. They're an extra point away from tying this game. And we are knotted at 31. After that onside kick by Northwestern, they appear to be in dire straits, in big trouble. Hopelessness seemed to be abound everywhere. What a turnaround.
Clayton Thorson, the senior, they needed some big plays and big throws, and man, did he come up with them as he finds a true freshman, J.J. Jefferson, full extension up, and he gets into the end zone. It's homecoming, and man, they're loving it here in Evanston. Wow.
What a comeback.
Wow. That, by the way, I just want to let people know, that started on the 1-yard line. That was a 99-yard drive to tie this thing up with 12 seconds to go. The intestinal fortitude that takes as a team. Wow. Big time drive by Clayton Thorson and Northwestern.
12 seconds to go for Nebraska, and they have to at this point. And we talked about the fact that a team like Nebraska, winless, coming in 0-5, learning how to win is the most difficult part. They had this one and let it slip, as much as Northwestern came back to win it, though. 9 seconds to go.
Remember, Pat Fitzgerald told us yesterday, well, we talked to players, we talked to coaches at Northwestern. They said, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a Big Ten brawl. There's nothing going to be easy about this. And it's been everything. It's been that and some here this afternoon.
Certainly has. Martinez going to take a knee, and we're going to go into overtime. Free football, folks. Northwestern vehemently proclaimed they were ready to protect this house. We'll see how they protect it on the other side. More from Evanston after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. Overtime, folks, coming up. Yeah, great finish coming up here. Tied at 31 as we get ready for the overtime between Northwestern and Nebraska. Here's how it evolved and got to this point. After a 99-yard drive, actually a nice punt that put him on the one. Key plays by Nagel on this tying drive. Skoranek also with some big catches. And Jefferson with the touchdown. That ties the longest drive, Dusty, in school history. Good time to rewrite the record book here on homecoming weekend. Here's a look at the overtime rules. We'll see who gets choice of offense, defense with the toss. Each team gets a possession from the opponent's 25. Dusty, do you like going on defense first or taking the ball first if you win the toss?
I'm a defensive guy. Give me defense.
Okay.
Gentlemen, good job so far. We're going to go to overtime. We'll repeat overtime until we have a winner at the end of that overtime period. If we get through the second, you must go for 2. Both teams will have a timeout. Both teams have a challenge remaining. Heads, tails. Tails.
He called the tails.
He called tails. It is heads. You've won.
Defense.
Northwestern has won and has chosen defense. We'll play going towards the scoreboard.
All right, so when you talk about success, it means different things for these two teams. For Nebraska, it's about learning how to win, period. How to get that first win. For Northwestern, it's about how you handle success in wake of a win on the road, a big win at Michigan State.
And think about it. Northwestern, though, 2-3s, 2-1 in Big Ten play. A win here gets into 3-1, and they're very much in that Big Ten West division conversation. So you're exactly right. And here's the other thing with Nebraska. You know, they haven't won yet. They haven't felt that with this football team. You know, what's the mindset? Is that you know, that fear creeping in the back of their mind? Is that shadow of doubt starting to creep in? We're going to find out here as this thing unfolds in front of us.
Martinez on the field for Nebraska's offense. 1st and 10, Ozigbo in the backfield. Spielman in motion. Now sets in the slot. It's going to be Ozigbo on 1st down. Picks up about 2.5. Brought down by Miller on the play. 2nd down and 7. Still been a pretty quiet day for Stanley Morgan Jr., number 8. Spielman has been a little bit more involved.
Got to give Montre Hardage a lot of credit on that. He's been duty on Stanley Morgan all day.
Great point. Martinez gets it out on the edge to Ozigbo. Made a nice move. And no longer can we say Ozigbo doesn't make guys miss. About a yard short of the 1st down. Got a good block from Jack Stahl.
And the tight end's outside on that swing screen. Jack Stahl springs Ozigbo for a nice pickup.
3rd and short. And there was some movement on the right side of that offensive line.
False start. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Scott Frost, the head coach of Nebraska, has been repeating over and over, we can't commit penalties. That's what's killing us. And with that, they'll move it back. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
You go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6 in this moment. Such a costly mistake by the right guard, Bo Wilson.
Spielman in motion. It's going to be Spielman. Good open field tackle by Trey Williams. He broke down and made a nice tackle on the play. So 4th down coming up.
Not good. Fantastic tackle in the open field. It's J.D. Spielman, man. This guy can make anybody miss in a phone booth. Breaks down, comes to balance, wraps up, and he gets Spielman down. Huge tackle to set up 4th down. This just shows right here how much they don't trust their field goal kicker, I would say, going for it.
Pickering on the sidelines. 4th down. Got to get to the 15. They fumble it. Bad snap. Martinez going to try and make something happen. And he's picked off in the end zone. It falls apart for Nebraska as Pace makes the interception. So now Northwestern The pressure off, able to hold defensively.
First, it was a false start on 3rd and 1. Seton moves it back to 3rd and 6, and now it is a bad snap. On the ground, Tanner Farmer, he snaps and steps, doesn't focus on getting the ball to the quarterback, and it's just a scramble drill for Adrian Martinez trying to make a play. I still go back. I'm surprised they didn't kick the field goal. I mean,
yeah.
Again, now that makes them 1 for 10 on 4th down this season. Northwestern in prime position to steal this game.
Thorson hands it off. They haven't run it much. Solomon Vault that time got a couple of yards on the play. Their running game has been largely silent here this afternoon. They haven't run the ball that frequently. A total of 31 yards on the ground, matching the number of points they have on the board. 2nd and 8.
Northwestern needs to get some yards because their field goal kicker, though he made one earlier, he's shaky as well.
Nagel in motion on the jet sweep. He takes it, cuts it upfield, and makes it about to the 20. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
Carson's pass is complete to Quinn Nagel. Tackle by Derrick Young, the 2nd.
Don't forget, folks, coming up after this game, Oregon and Washington, a big Pac-12 tilt. 3rd and 5.
Well, it looks like they're playing for the field goal. Big personnel, 2 tight ends. Flynn Nagel is not in the game. All indications it's going to be a run or a quarterback just centering the ball. Run to the left, get the ball centered.
Green in motion. They're going to run it to the right side. That was Vault, so it'll be on the right hash. 4th and 4. Luckenbach coming in to try and win the game for Northwestern and notch their first home win of the season on homecoming weekend.
Attempted his first field goal in college today. I think he's going to ice him.
No timeout yet, and now they call it. You got a practice shot off.
Timeout, Nebraska. There's the final charge of this period. 30 seconds in length.
Hey, why not let it fly anyway?
Well,
nothing wrong with the practice swing, man.
No, not at all. With confidence going.
They try and put him on ice. And when you think about the fact that Nebraska was up by 10 points, Dusty, with right around 5 minutes to go, had the ball a little momentum. To think about where it's come to now is really symbolic of the type of season they've had.
Don't take anything away from Northwestern. They've showed real fight, never gave up. I mean, even when they were backed up on their own one with no timeouts and 2 minutes to play, they continue to punch away.
Here it is for the win. Luckenbach got it. Northwestern with its first home win on homecoming. A stirring, compelling, and riveting comeback by Pat Fitzgerald's Northwestern Wildcats. After the onside kick, it looked like they were finished. Conversely, for the first time in school history, Nebraska falls to an ignominious 0-6. Thorson brought his team back for the win. The final 34-31. Coming up next, more college football on ABC and ESPN2. Most will see Washington, Oregon. The rest of the country, UCF, Memphis. Check local listings for the game in your area. On homecoming weekend, for Molly and Dusty, I'm Mark Jones saying so long from Evanston.